EAs and business managers, or executive assistants and business managers, or something like that. PA. There's so many different job titles. Often it's something like a business manager, chief of staff, a gatekeeper. Every organization is slightly different. Some will share PAs, some will have dedicated, some of it's status based, some of it's, you have an EA for the whole team, a business manager for 3 execs or whatever, right? Whatever that is, there's someone that acts as a gatekeeper on behalf of the senior executive. Depends how senior they are. The more senior they go, you typically will have someone that's looking after, that's their business manager or their exec assistant. It's looking after calendaring and all these kind of things. And they are, in many cases, the most powerful individuals unofficially in the company. And that's because they see everything. Literally, remember the EA or equivalent has access to the exec's inbox. If anything, the EA is better briefed sometimes than the executive is, because the EA is reading everything, or the business manager is reading everything. Sometimes you see an EA or a PA, an EA, and a business manager, all of them sharing the inbox, access to the exec's inbox, or the EA with the access and the business manager working very closely with them. Whatever, right? Your picture will vary. These individuals tend, as I say, to be very, very influential. Not formally. They don't have any formal rights or responsibilities typically. They are usually enabling the senior exec. But they're also the one that will, generally speaking, sharply rebuke the senior exec if they've got something wrong. Or depending on the realities and the relationship, will say, you might want to think about, or I've done that. So they develop very close relationships, the senior exec and that 1 or 2 people. Often they'll follow them, right? So once they've created that dynamic, you'll see them follow each other across the company. The exec will take that individual with them, or individuals. Sometimes that transfers out of the company, so the exec will leave for another role, and then next month so does the EA, right? Getting to know them is really important. So work hard on your EA, business manager-ish, these people, your relationships with them. They can tell you what the actual answers is. It may well be, policy says your report needs to be in on Tuesday. It's quite useful if you know the EA and you can, if you've been talking to them, if you've got a relationship with them, you've developed a relationship with them, you may find, and they may say, look, don't worry about it. He doesn't read it until Thursday. So as long as you get it to me by Wednesday, right, it'll be in his report. And that's when I make the PDF with everything. So if you haven't got it to me by Wednesday at 1, that's when I make the report. I'm just telling you it's not in, right? They're also, if you've got a good relationship with these individuals, they're also one that will be phoning you saying, hey, aren't you going to submit that report? And you go, oh, yes, well, I'm holding it, come on. So having a relationship with these people is business critical. Now, for EAs, you'll often find the CEO's office. So that's typically lots of people in that CEO's office, but knowing individuals there, getting to know them, very important. What network have you got? So often you may have an individual, a colleague who's just joined as a DA, but they're in the CEO's office, for example. Well, then that's someone useful to know, okay? And then you might have a DA who's rotating in through this function or that function. Again, any information that they can help you with that can smooth your way around the company is good news. Being aware that this is often how things work can really help broaden your horizons and make things far more pleasant and way more productive. There are some individuals, and I meet them often, going through corporate that just don't know, aren't aware, don't know, aren't sure, haven't asked, just do it this way. And they're the ones under a lot of pressure at times, under a lot of stress, because they don't know anyone and they don't have a relationship and they didn't make that relationship, so they just have to jump when someone says jump. If you've got relationships with these individuals, sometimes you can leverage them. those individuals may say, you say, for example, oh, I'm thinking of changing job. Yeah, I saw this one, I'm thinking of changing it. Now, they may say, don't do that. You say, why not? No, just don't. Wait a week or two. You don't say, why? Why? Well, what do you mean? I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. Why? Listen, because then in 2 weeks' time, there might be this big announcement that will really help you. So this is why it's useful to play the politics game here. Get to know these individuals. They typically are extremely influential. And when you join the department, your line manager should be introducing you to the most nearest one. It's up to you to then develop those relationships. Sometimes it's through coffee. Can I buy you a coffee? Is a great technique. Anything like that. Can I buy you a coffee? Can I buy you lunch? What else? Occasionally, I would always just quite often I would go to the cafeteria and buy myself something. Halfway through the afternoon, just a sugar something, but I'd buy two and take one back from my boss's PA. And she would go, no, I can't have this. Okay, and then eat it. And then while we're doing that, there's a quid pro quo there, right? She then starts chatting to me, and then we begin developing our even better relationship that way. So sometimes it's about coffees, informally. In that situation, she couldn't easily leave her desk. Now and again she could, but there was so much moving that during the day that was quite difficult for, apart from lunch hour and so on, she had to be nearby. So me bringing in a coffee and a cake or something was quite helpful. Then what was also very useful is every company will have, and these EAs and business managers will also be responsible for this, they'll have some kind of policy and approach for parties, for networking, for team meals, team this, team that. It's very useful if you are supportive. They'll lock on to you. Okay, so if you are supportive, so they say, they might say, look, at everybody's birthday. For everybody's birthday, we always get a cake and a so and so and a what's it, and you could say, well, hey, shall I get the cake? Right, because they usually have a little kitty, some money or petty cash from the company. You can help out and say, oh, let me get the cake. Right, don't forget it. But you can be involved, and the more involved you are, the more opportunities you've got for dialogue, for conversation. Some might call it gossip, right? But for dialogue, that's very helpful to you, to help you understand what's moving. Okay, so the more that people can say, oh look, we've got this party coming up. What do you think we should do? Then you can begin to influence. Well, I think we should go here. Should we go here? Can we do that? Could it? Right. So it's about being involved and understanding that dynamic in the company. Now, the more that you are involved in these kind of activities, where you're helping with the party and helping with the networking thing and helping with this thing and helping with that, unofficially, of course, right? Because this is not expected or required. It's just you helping out. The more the opportunities arise for you to be seen, for you to be involved. For example, don't be surprised if you're then invited into the planning meeting for the so-and-so networking thing, or for the end of year gathering, or and don't be surprised if the senior exec is sitting there, right? This is, again, it's about how you are driving your career, and this stuff can be really helpful for you. Okay. Let's stop talking. Let's move on. We've done exec assistants there. Let's now talk about human resources.